Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tolu, and on this channel I share content all around personal finance, budgeting, frugal living, and I show you how to live your best life on a budget. So if you're new around here, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you coming to watch another one of my videos. Today's video is actually something totally different and new to my channel. What I'm doing in this video is basically talking to you about a new series in which I've started over on my Instagram page called T Money Talks. And the purpose of T Money Talks is basically to have real, honest, open conversations around money. So on T Money Talks, I have a weekly guest that comes on the show to have a conversation with me about a money topic. So everything from budgeting, getting out of debt, paying off loans, mortgages, the relationship between money and marriage, the effect that money also has on our mental health. Like literally every money topic that you can think of, we're going to be covering on the series T Money Talks over on my Instagram page. So if you're not following me on Instagram, please go ahead and follow me over on Instagram. These lives will take place on a weekly basis at 8 PM British Summer Time. So head over to my Instagram live so that you can join those conversations live. But what I'm going to be doing for you guys here on YouTube is actually sharing those lives with you, but not only just sharing those conversations, but also sharing key takeaways and key things that I've been able to learn from the different money conversations from my different guests, which will be on the live with me every single week. So yeah, on YouTube, probably on Wednesday or Tuesday evening, if I can manage it, I'll be uploading that conversation with you guys and also sharing my thoughts from that conversation. So after this clip, you're going to actually see episode 1 of T Money Talks with myself, Tolu Frimpong, obviously, and my guest, which is Christina Adesina, founder of Shades of Beauty Live. So episode 1 is called It's Okay to Talk About Money, and on that live I basically have a real open, honest conversation with Christina about my financial journey so far. So sharing my debt story in more detail, just talking about my relationship with money as a child. You hear it all anyway in this following clip. So stay tuned, grab yourself a cup of coffee, grab yourself some snacks because it's a long one, but it was a really good conversation to have, and it's definitely one I think you'll definitely take something away from. So yeah, definitely stay tuned and have a listen to this live conversation. And I think we are live. Yay! Hi everyone, welcome. Actually, I'll wait a few seconds because I don't think anyone's joined me yet. There we go, a couple of people are joining us now, brilliant. Hey Genesis. Hi guys, welcome. Thank you all for joining me on the first episode of T Money Talks. My name's Tolu, I'm your host, aka T Money. So yeah, I don't want to take up too much time getting into the live or waiting around for people to join, because I know that obviously when you're watching it on the catch up, it's going to be very annoying when you're waiting 5 minutes for the live to start. So with that being said, I'll just get right into it. Thank you all so much for joining. Like I said, my name's Tolu, aka T Money, and the whole purpose of T Money Talks is to talk about that taboo subject of money. So it's something that we all obviously have to manage and all have to deal with, but yet it's something that we don't talk about very much. And that's something that I really want to change, and I really want to open up those conversations around money, talk about those taboo subjects that we don't really talk about, yet we all have to navigate and all have to manage. So with this series, part 1 of the series is going to be a 12-part series. So every week I'll be joined by a different guest talking about different money topics. So everything from getting out of debt and saving and investing to relationships, so money and marriage, faith and finances, literally every money topic that you can think of, I'm going to try and cover during the series on the different weeks. But week 1, this is episode 1, and I thought it would be really good to basically kick off sharing my money story. So I didn't want to just be talking for the whole time. I thought it would be good to get somebody on to basically interview me and ask me questions about my story. That way it will help with my nerves, because yeah, I can't just be talking all this time by myself. So with that being said, before I actually bring on my first guest, what I did want to do is actually tell you guys a few things. So first of all, please stick around to the end of the live. I have some exciting news to share with you guys at the end. So yeah, if you stick around, you'll be the first to hear these exciting news. And then also what I wanted to do is tell you guys that it's an interactive session. So what I really want you guys to do is, yeah, I want some participation. So it would be really good if you guys could also like
if you have any questions, ask those questions, or if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. Like, yeah, because it's a conversation about money that I want us to all be a part of. So if you have any questions, like I said, leave them in the question section below, and share this with a friend. Invite people to come and join us on this live, because I think it's going to be a really good conversation around money. And I thank you all for joining. I see everyone joining. I don't want to get distracted trying to wave to everybody or trying to say hello to everybody, but I see you all joining, and I'm really thankful that I'm not here by myself just talking to myself. Like, thank you all for joining this live, and I hope it's going to be a really good series. Like, this is only part one, like I said, and it's only going to be me sharing my money story, but each week I'll be joined by different guests talking about different money topics, and it's going to be a really good series, I hope. So yeah, thank you guys for joining, and I'm going to bring my first guest on. Oh, my first guest, let me give her a pre-introduction actually. So the first guest I'm having is Christina Adesina, and she's the founder of Shades of Beauty Live, and she's a really, really good friend of mine. And I was very specific with the person that I wanted to have actually do the interview with me. I chose Christina specifically because she was very impactful and very pivotal actually in my own financial journey. So it was a money conversation that Christina and I actually had that actually like changed my whole financial trajectory. So that's why I thought it'd be really good to have that conversation with Christina to begin with. So I'm going to get Christina onto the live now and see if I can actually see some of you lot's comments. But Christina, where are you? How do I even add someone? Sorry guys, it's my first. Oh, there you go. That was easy. Christina's joining us now. Wait for Christina to join. But yeah, I see you all waving and joining. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate all your support. And Christina is with us now. Yay! Hey everyone. Oh look, it's chopped off the top of my head. Wait, let's lift this camera up a little bit. Let's not show the mess there at the top. Yeah. Can you see me? Yeah.
I can see you. I can see you. That was a really good intro.
What did you say?
That was a really good intro, I said.
Oh, thank you. I tried some more. Hey everyone, thanks for joining. So yeah, this is Christina. This is one of my besties, my sister from another mister, who I've got joining me on this live, and she's going to be interviewing me. So what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to hand over to Christina, and you're like basically the host now, Chris. So you're going to be the one leading this conversation. So over to you, Christina.
Hi guys, so thank you so much for joining at Tolu Frimpong Finance. It has taken her so long to get to this point, and the anxiety, oh my god, talk about the amount of phone calls. I'm exaggerating.
No, you're not exaggerating. It's actually been a lot of phone calls.
Seriously, but you're doing it, and everybody is on the live waiting and listening. So this is Team Money Talks. Tolu's giving you like, it's going to be a weekly Instagram. So I'm going to kick off with just like, I'm not going to bother introducing myself. You guys come and find out. I want you guys to understand where Tolu's journey come from and her personal financial journey. I think it's so relatable to all of us here. And so I want to start off with some quick fire questions. And I want to try and get the format of this really right, because as Tolu knows, I sometimes go off script. But I know that if I don't get this right, Tolu's going to kill me after this. I'm going to try and get it right. Now, she asked me to do some quick fire questions. I am going to do them to you. But so, I want to kick off with some quick fire questions, just asking about money related things. And then I'm going to go on and going to get straight into some deep questions regarding personal finance, which is so important to the Black community, especially at this time, you know, where a lot of people are going on furlough and with everything that's happening at the moment. So, Tolu, first of all, quick fire questions. I'm going to do quick fire questions. I'm going to do a would you rather.
Okay.
So, given the circumstances you've been in recently, I should know some of the answers to these questions, but would you rather change jobs every few years or keep one job for the rest of your life?
I would say change job every few years, but my lifestyle reflects the opposite because I was in my last job for 10 years. But yeah, ideally, change every few years.
Okay, why would you want to change every few years?
A new adventure, try something different, switch it up. Like, as I'm growing and I'm getting older, I'm getting a little bit more of becoming more of a risk taker. So I'm like, you know what, let me not just stay where it's safe and where I'm comfortable. Let me step out of my comfort zone. So that's something that I'm trying to do in all areas of life now. So I think I will definitely, career-wise, want to do that moving forward if I was to pursue the career.
And the other thing as well that's interesting is that, you know, some people say that they change jobs as well so that they can get a pay increase as well, salary increase. Yeah. I learned that quite a few, because I remember when you was your job, I think every couple of years I was calling you.
Oh,
that's when I got a new job. I'm starting here, I'm doing this. So another thing is that I think people change jobs every few years because of pay increase as well.
Yeah,
definitely. That's interesting. So owing to your experience now, you would change job every couple of years.
Yeah.
And you advise your boys too as well.
100%, yeah.
Okay, that's what Wigs Inc. says. That's what I do. 2 to 3 years a max, yeah? And the other thing as well that we've learned, me and you has had conversations about, is about loyalty. Like, loyalty does not pay, especially like when you had your 10-year...
Listen, look how fast they were ready to chop me. 10 years, and that was it. Sorry, see you later, babe. Yeah.
So, yeah, so loyalty does not pay. Like, so definitely, like, I agree with that, your answer there. I definitely wouldn't do 10 years. So the next question, would you rather be rich or famous?
Oh,
would you rather rich or famous?
Rich, babe.
Okay. I heard that.
Well, famous, love it. No.
No, but I think it's quite interesting because a lot of people, especially with like social media, like you've mentioned, that a lot of people want to be famous, don't they? Innit?
Yeah, that's true. But no, there's no point being famous and broke. That's long.
Okay, so rich. You can be famous and you can have money.
Yeah, exactly. If it was both, then maybe. But I don't want to be famous and have no money. What's the point?
Okay, so would you rather make a huge salary but have to give everything above minimum wage to charity, or have a mid-range salary and be able to spend it on whatever you want?
Oh, so again, so would I rather have a high salary, minimum wage salary, and all the extra money I earn, I have to give away?
No, I'll say it again. So would you rather have a huge salary but have to give everything above minimum wage to charity? So basically, or have a mid-range salary and able to spend it on whatever you want.
Yeah, I think I'll take the mid-range, thanks.
Oh, so you don't like charity, yeah?
Yeah, I like charity, but what you're saying to me is that I'm earning big money, but I only get to keep minimum wage, so the rest of it all goes to charity. I mean, if it was I could keep half, then yeah, but I'll basically get 10% and give 90% away, is what you're saying, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly. But also it depends on your spending to saving ratio.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a talk about, right? Because obviously people spend 80% of their wage. Like most people spend 80% of their wage, right? So, and then so the 20% would be minimum wage, isn't it?
Okay, I see where you're going with that. I see where you're going with that. Okay. I
like mate. All right, so look at it. So would you rather have a ton of debt but a really high salary, or no debt but a lower salary?
Oh, number 2, definitely.
So no debt and a lower salary.
Yeah.
I would go for a ton of debt and a really high salary.
What's the point?
Because I can get more loans. I can leverage that. You know I'm a high risk person.
Yeah, we're opposite when it comes to things like that. I'm very risk adverse. You love risk now, mate. I'll just manage my small money and have no debt.
But that's how a lot of big businesses make money, like, and
that's how a lot of big businesses go broke too.
Richard Branson, a lot of them still have a lot of debt. A lot of them still have a lot of good debt, like mortgage debt, like business loans,
Yeah. I hear that whole get good debt. There is good debt, but I'm risk averse in it, so I'd rather have peace of mind in it. You can't put a price on that, so I'd rather just have peace.
I agree. I love that. Yeah, I've got like that. What's that? Adrenaline rush.
Yeah. You like that. Yeah, I don't like it. No.
All right then. So would you rather have a job you love with a low lifetime earning potential, or a job you hate but makes a lot of money?
Number 1.
So you have a job you love with a low lifetime earning potential?
Yeah, definitely.
But wait a minute, you did a job for 10 years that you hate.
Exactly. So that's why I can say that now, isn't it? Experience is the best teacher. And like for me, I wouldn't do that again. I'd rather... satisfaction, I think, is more important than the money, definitely. I'd rather do something I love and not be paid £1 million for it than go to work every day and dread going to work. That's long.
Hold on a minute. There was no time limit on it. So would you do a job that you hate?
Oh, for like a year and then bounce? And a year we could talk about, definitely. Yeah, you didn't say that. That's different.
And then it wasn't in the question. I'm just you know me, I'm just throwing those things out there, innit? But I'm just saying it wasn't very. So if it's a job that you hate, but you're getting paid enough, like six figures, right? And would you do it? Like, what is like the maximum amount of time you'll do it for?
Not a long time, you know. I can't even lie. I don't think it'll be for long. Maybe 6 months, even a year. A year is a long time to be doing something that you actually literally hate. Every day I'm waking up.
I've been doing that for 14 years, love. I've been in sales for 14 years. I've been doing something I hate, but the money is good in it, so you keep on going back.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people experience that, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
I've woken up and I thought, nah, that's not the way to go.
Nah, not for me. Nah.
Okay, how about if it was like investment banking? Like,
banking? Me? Nah.
No, even for 1 year, T.
I could do that for 6 months. They'll probably sack me after a couple of months anyway. But yeah, no. Why can't I get paid 6 figures and do a job I love? How about that?
Yeah, you can do that. No, that wasn't a question. That wasn't a question.
Give me something I want to do.
All right, but you know what? They do a lot of UK surveys, and in all seriousness, a lot of people are doing jobs that they I wouldn't say hate, but they don't like.
I'm happy for you.
Okay, Wigs Inc. says, I love my job. You're very lucky. What job do you do? You're not replying back. All right. So, okay, so we're gonna go. That was the quick fire questions. They weren't really quick fire, but the more.
Actually, that was like 10 minutes in itself. We're gonna have to keep things moving. But yeah, no, that was good. Though. It helped calm my nerves. So thank you.
You see, she's telling me off already for not even keeping to the schedule. Yeah, I know I'm in trouble after this. Everybody pray for me. Okay, so the first question that I have here is when you were a child, how did you perceive money? And can we put a time on this as well? Like, let's put an age on this. So when I say when you were a child, let's say 10 years old, right? Between the ages of 10 and 12, right?
Mm.
And you know, did you ever speak to your parents about money?
Okay, so as a child, my perspective of money was money is a tool and money is there to be spent. So at the age of 10, I'd say if I had money, I had to spend the money. So I remember in primary school, I used to get bused to primary school. I was like I think I was the only child actually, to be fair, that used to get bused because I lived quite far from my primary school. So my parents used to give me £1 a day to get on a bus. So it was like 50p in the morning, 30p to get home from school, and then it was 20p change every day. So that 20p, I'll take it and I'll spend it. I'll buy sweets, I'll buy Frosties, I'll buy all of these little sweets, pick a mix sweets with the 20p. And I do that every day. So any little change that I had from that bus fare, I'll spend that money. And I remember as I got a bit older, I turned, still in primary school, but then instead of like paying each month or each way to school, I was getting like these one-day bus pass. Don't know if anyone knows about those scratch cards. You know, there's like one-day bus passes where you scratch out the number instead of actually before they got.
Oh yeah, I remember.
There's a lot of these like scratch card things, and you scratch out the date. And so what I used to do is I would only scratch out like a little bit of the date. So like I could use it more than once. So I'll use it like 2 days, 3 days instead of like using it daily. So like each week, rather than buying 5 bus passes, I buy 2, and then the other £3 I'll like spend it basically on sweets and chocolates and all this. Yeah, I know it. Crafty. I've been frugal from day. Literally, that's what I would do. So I would make those bus passes stretch. So then until the bus driver will be like, excuse me, you need to scratch off the date. And then that's when I'll have to scratch off the full day. And then I'll have to buy a new bus pass the next day. But yeah, so that's what I used to do. So when I had money, I'll just spend that money literally all throughout my childhood. That's what I did. And then also I think in terms of my perspective on money, it was that, yeah, money was there to be spent. And I also think I had a view of money that money was, what did she say? This 419.
419 every level.
Hey, listen, I was resourceful. I won't call it 419. But yeah, that's what I used to do. And then, yeah, I think that was my attitude to money anyway. I thought money was very hard to come by as a child because growing up, money was scarce in our house, innit? So it's like my parents worked very hard for money. I remember my mom used to work like early morning, early evening, early night, like literally she used to work all around the clock. She used to always be at work, and my dad the same thing. So I remember just as a child thinking money is so hard to come by. Like that was literally what I thought when it came to money. I thought money is a hard thing to get. Like
did you ever have a piggy bank in your house?
Piggy bank? Yeah, do you know what? My mom had this big Coca-Cola. Oh gosh, I'm gonna start exposing my life here. But my mom had this big Coca-Cola bottle, and I used to like take money out of it and take. Yeah, but I didn't have my own piggy bank. I just used to take my mom's money from her piggy bank and stuff. But yeah, no, I didn't have any education about money as a child. Like my parents didn't actually ever sit me down and talk to me about money or anything like that. It's just I knew what money was because I used to have to use it to get on a bus, like I was saying. So I knew that you need money to like pay for things, and that's what I used to do. Use my money to pay for things. So
Yeah, so I think it's most like we're both Nigerian, right? So we know that, but most Nigerian parents, like, they don't really talk about money. My dad always used to, like, when we didn't used to finish the stew or the meat inside the pot, my dad would be like, "Can you not finish the stew? Do you think money grows on trees?" And I remember, like, my sister used to look at me confused, like, she'd be looking at me, and yes, she was like, "What's Daddy talking about? Money does grow on trees." Like, that's what she used to say to me. And I remember she was obviously like, she's so scientific in it, so she's just like, paper is made of money. But I remember most Nigerian households, they like money, especially my dad, like, he used to make sure that everything that we had was just like, we know the value of it. I remember when I was 3 years old, he made me used to polish the table in our living room. Because
your mom called and said she wants her coins back. Sorry, that's funny. Go on, I'm listening. What are you snitching for? What are you telling my mom?
But I mean, like, no, but it's good though. Hey, your mom wants those coins, but I give those back to her now, Sha. But anyway, but yeah, it's so important, I think, as children, as you know, young children, that we now, your parent now, you've got 3 boys. It's so important now that the lessons that you didn't have when you were their age, you now impart that lessons onto them. So your 3 boys, are you doing that already? Because they're so young, right? So Alpha is now going to be 6. 5.
16, yeah, he's 5.
16. Right? So are you going to start teaching him about money, or have you started?
100%, yeah, definitely. For Alpha, you know Alpha already right now, he's not really getting what money is, but he is going to definitely get as soon as I think he's able to grasp it, I'm definitely going to teach him. So even things like him, like breaking their toys and then damaging things, and just really trying to school them on the fact that this stuff costs money, and yeah, you can't just be breaking things, and if you do, it doesn't just get replaced like that, unfortunately, because that stuff costs money and it took time to save up to buy that thing. So you can't just break it and think it's just going to be replaced like that. Life doesn't work like that. So those kind of things I've been talking to him about. But in terms of the whole piggy bank thing and stuff, I actually really want to start introducing that to him from now. And I think Asha will pick it up just as quickly, because everything Alpha does, he wants to do too. So yeah, definitely want to start introducing them from now.
Your parents did teach you something about money then, isn't it, as a child? Your parents, because at the end of the day, your frugalness comes from, your parents did kind of teach, even though they didn't discuss it with you. Their action shows that
observation, 100%. Yeah, the frugalness there, definitely. And making me stretch. I definitely picked that one up from there.
Cooking vegetables and rice.
Oh, mate, listen. Every day. In our house, boy. Every day rice and stew, boy. Yeah.
Remember, you used to come to my house. I used to say to you, "There's nothing in the house to eat." You're like,
I make something happen. I always make something happen. I always find food in that fridge. Yeah. Resourceful. Yeah.
Okay, so at what age did you start earning your own money, and how did you handle it?
Okay, so I got my first job at 16. So I remember I couldn't wait for my national insurance number to come through so that I can get a job and I can actually start buying my own stuff, because yeah, that £1 a day that I was getting, actually tell a lie, so secondary school I used to get like £1.50 a day for lunch money, and that money didn't stretch very far. Like by the time you paid for lunch, you couldn't buy any snacks after school or anything like that. So I was tired of that. I had one pair of Reebok Classics from year 7 to year 11. Like, it was long, innit? So I was like, no, I just need to buy my own stuff. Like, so I could not wait to turn 16 so I can get a job, so that I can buy my own things and have my own money. So yeah, as soon as I turned 16, I got my first job in Madhouse Superstore. Yeah. And yeah, shut down now. But yeah, it was like some bootleg designer store up West End. And that's when, yeah, I was balling. Trust me, fire. I was balling. I was balling. I felt like a millionaire when I started working at 16, because all of a sudden I've gone from getting £1.50 a day for lunch to now being paid like £500 a month for working part-time 2 days a week. Mate, I thought I was minted. So yeah, I was rich back then. Was that the whole question?
So what did you do? What did you do to spend? What did you do with the money once you got it? What did you do with it?
Yeah, so when I got the money, I spent it. That was literally, that was the same thing that I did as a child. That pattern of spending behaviour definitely continued into my teens. So when I was 16 and I was working, because I worked in retail as well, Tottenham Court Road is like the high street. There's shops galore. So what I'll do, I'll get paid. Even when I was working at Madhouse, what I'll do actually is I would put stuff aside. So as I'm working and I'm putting clothes out of the shop floor, I'll put the stuff aside that I'm going to buy at the end of my shift. And that's literally what I used to do. So all the money they were paying me, I was just giving it back to them. Like, that's all I was doing, giving it back to them. Or if it wasn't them, it was like Shelley's back then. And just all the shops on the high street. I just, used to spend all my money That and
did you
out.
continue that kind of relationship when you went to uni as well? Did you continue that?
Oh yeah, so when I went to uni, it actually accelerated, so it got worse. So when I was 16 to 18, that's when I was balling. That's when I just had so much money. I just used to spend money, but I never knew about debt back then. So it was like I spent all my money. So by the end of the month, like let's say I was getting paid on the 26th and it was coming to the 20th, I had to spend all that money by the 26th because there was new money coming on the 26th. That was literally my attitude. It's like I need to spend all this money because new money is coming again. So yeah, it's like what I used to do. I'll just spend that money and then more money will come into my account on the 26th. So that's what, yeah, I don't know if it was actually the 26th, but payday would come, I would get paid, and yeah, the cycle will repeat itself. So I was literally living paycheck to paycheck. So whilst I was making so much money at that young age, I just used to spend it. And I'll give my parents credit actually, because my mom at that time was now telling me I should start saving. And I'm like, what am I saving for? Like, I didn't even get it. I'm like, why am I saving? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. I want to spend money. So that's what I do. And if I did save, what I'll do is I'll put money into my savings account. But when the money in my account run out, I'll just take that money back and spend that. So it's like, it wasn't even really saving because I'll put it there and then take it back and spend it. And that's literally what I was doing throughout school. And then when I went to uni, turned 18, that's when I got introduced to debt. So obviously when you go to Freshers' Fair and stuff, you have all the banks and stuff there telling you to come sign up, get an overdraft, come get a credit card. And then when I'll go to the Bullring, go shopping, they will tell you about all these store cards that you can get as well. So like, obviously as a student back then you get 10% off. But then if you sign up for the store card, you get 20% off. Mate, I was just like, of course I'm going to sign up and get that 20% off. So that's what I was doing. So now I'll sign up for the store card and then I'll pay for my purchase and that's fine. I'll think, okay, I'm going to pay it back at the end of the month. But then like it wouldn't happen, then I'll end up spending more and more money. So I think at uni, that same pattern of behavior continued in terms of me spending all the money I had. But then in addition to that, I started spending more than the money that was mine. Because obviously I had that overdraft. That overdraft literally became my money. Like once my money finished, do you know what's so funny? Because when you go to the cash point, the money's available like credit. It doesn't not tell you the money's there. So because the money's I think 1,500, I think I still got money to spend, isn't it? So I'll just keep spending that overdraft, and that's what I was doing. So yeah,
I think that's a similar pattern for most students that go to university that haven't had that kind of conversation about money.
Definitely a setup, Cheryl.
Yeah, it was all a setup for those. I think it was a setup for those that were ignorant of the power of money. Like I think, especially when you put like money into a savings account, right? You don't see it grow like massively, isn't it? And I remember listening to one podcast, and they were saying that a lot of us that probably don't have money don't talk about the power of the way the money can compound and grow because there's nothing to talk about. When you're a minus, there's no conversation.
Right? Minus multiplied by minus equals more minus.
Exactly. So
but you know what's so funny? Sorry, the fact that this compound interest that you speak of, I only learned about it like a year ago. I was like, sorry, why did I go through my whole life not knowing that this was a thing that my money could make money for me? Like, genuinely did not know that was actually a thing. I was like, so this is what the people have been doing all this time and nobody told me. Like,
money can make money.
Yeah, money can make money. Like, deeply, I did not know any of that. So yeah, when I found that out, I was like, wow. So this is the secret they've been keeping from us. So I was like, no, now I know. I need to share with you guys. So yeah, I bet there's somebody here that's just hearing this for the first time too, boy. Listen.
So what was like? So once obviously you learned that a year ago. So what was the major turning point for you? Like after you finished university, that made you feel like like I need to change my money habits.
Okay. So there's a chunk missing here. So it's when I got married. So yeah. So there's actually a few bits missing actually. So basically, post uni now, graduated. Got my graduate job, started earning money, and that was fine. Living my life, living paycheck to paycheck, spending all the money I had. I had my overdraft and my store cards at that time. Credit card I wasn't using. I was scared of the credit card for some reason, but I used the overdraft and the store cards. So when I got my first graduate job, I was like, no, I need to clear all this debt because I just didn't like the feeling of just always being in the minus, getting paid, and then by the time I make 2 transactions, I'm back in the red again. It's like, what's the point? So it took me about a year after. So about a year after graduating, I got a job, like, because I graduated in 2008 during the recession. So a year after graduating, I got a job, and then it took me another like 6 months, a year to actually pay off all that debt. So I was finally in credit, like getting paid, and all the money was my own. So that was fine. But the only issue was that I was spending all the money I had. So not only was I was earning all that money, and spending it all. So the same thing that I'd been doing from childhood, every penny I had, I wasn't content until I spent it. That's the same pattern of behaviour I had even when I graduated from uni. I never knew, because I never had all these conversations around money. I didn't even know that, you know, there was other things you could do with money, or that money could actually make money if you give it the opportunity. I didn't know any of that. So yeah, when I finished uni, a few years later, I met Isaac, got married. Fine. Yeah. Now when we entered into marriage, it was like we had very different ideas when it came to money. Like, I was a spender, he was a saver, so we butted heads quite a bit in the beginning because he just didn't understand why I just had to always buy stuff. He's like, you've got that shoe in like 10 different colours, or the same, not even 10 different colours. I'd have black shoes but 10 different designs of them, and he wouldn't understand why I have so many different pairs of the same shoe. I was like, no, but this one is a bit lower, like the heel's a bit smaller, or do you know what I mean? Or this one is open toe, this one is a bit, like, literally there was differences in it, small minute differences, but it meant that I needed to keep acquiring stuff. So yeah, we clashed a lot at the beginning when it came to spending, because I just used to spend money a lot on stuff that I didn't need to be spending. So anyway, fast forward a couple of years into marriage, we're like, okay, we want to start getting on the property ladder, like thinking about our future. So actually, one advice I'll give anybody here, you know, if you're in a relationship or anything, set financial goals like from the beginning, early on. You need to have a plan or something that you're working towards, or somewhere that you're trying to get to. Because I feel like the first few years we never really had a plan. We were doing okay in terms of, you know, we had a roof over our head, we had food in the fridge, we were traveling, we were enjoying life. We were, you know what I mean, young and married, we were enjoying each other, we were enjoying our time. But I had a long-term goal or anything I was working towards. So it's like, okay, there was no plan. So it's like, where are you going, please? You're just going, but you're not going anywhere. So it's like, yeah, we was enjoying it. It was fine. We was having a nice time. But it's like 2 years down the line, we're like, okay, you know, what do you see for the next 5 years? What should we do, kind of thing? So that's when we started thinking a bit more long term about what we want to go to next, or what, you know, what we want to do. And that's when we started saying we wanted to get on the property ladder. We're like, yeah, because I think around that time he had read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that's when he was just like, oh yeah, let me see if I can, you know, get into property and start making money that way. So it's like, okay, yeah, let's do that. But the only issue was that our expenses were very high at that time. Like back then, my expenses were mad. Like when I think about it, we spent more back then when it was the two of us than we do now with 3 kids. Like we used to blow money. It was ridiculous.
Do you think because you're a bit more? Do you think because you're a bit more sociable, like going out, because you're obviously
definitely
being young as well?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. We're sociable. Holidays, like we was on holiday like 3-4 times a year, just living our best lives, like just enjoying. Yeah, because exactly, it was just the two of us. We never had any responsibility, so we were able to just do that, just spend money and just live our lives, I guess. And we never really had a big long-term plan that we were working towards. But it's only like fast forward after 2 years, we started thinking, okay, you know, we want to get a property ladder, etc., etc. I remember that's when I came to your house and we had that conversation, and that's the conversation that actually made me want to bring you on for this conversation, for this live, because like I was saying about these lives, I think it's so important to have conversations around money. It was that money conversation that we had that actually changed our whole financial trajectory, because it was like after those 2 years and we came to your house and I was talking to you, and remember, I don't know if you remember that conversation, and I was saying that, yeah, like we want to get on a property ladder and we don't know how we're going to do it because we don't have enough money, like we don't have enough disposable income, like we're saving, but we're not saving at a rate that is going to help us get to our goals soon enough. And I remember you was just like, yeah, no, do you know what you should do? Yeah, well, this is not how you talk, that's how I talk. But you were like, you know, you were like, what you should do is go back home. Now, why don't you move in with your parents, or like move in with your family and save money that way? That way you can accelerate the saving rate. And I remember I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go live with my
to give credit, I think how I remember the story is like, I think you came to me and you was like, Isaac suggested it, and you were dead against moving in with like your mother-in-law.
Don't say that, Christina, because he actually was saying that's what happened, that he actually gave me the idea. I was like, no, Christina gave me the idea.
No, yeah, and the thing is, the reason why I was just like looking at you like, are you mad? Like, you get on with your mother-in-law, move in and do it. Because I remember, you know, I've got a few Asian friends, and one of my Asian friends, she opened up a dessert lounge with her husband, but she was still working. But I remember her telling me how she got on a property ladder, and one of the stories was that she said she lived with her mother-in-law for 2 years. And they saved up like nearly between them, because she was optometrist, like she worked in Specsavers, and her husband was working in the city. They went to save up ridiculous, like 100K or something.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
So, and that was like, and that was recently, like, and when you came to my house and you told me what Isaac suggested, the first thing I said was like, cut your ego.
Isaac saying, yes, you see, it was me.
Well done, Isaac. I was just like, cut the ego and just like drop your ego and do it. Like, just because I just saw the long-term future. Just like, long-term, you want a big family. So yeah, it made sense. Yeah, go on. Sorry, I was interrupting your story. Go on.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, we got past that.
But yeah, so that was the conversation that made me think. So now it's so funny that that's actually what happened, because you were saying that that's what happened. He was like, no, babe, I suggested that. I was like, no. Christina told me, but anyway, so what happened is I came back home that day and I was just like, oh yeah, babe, let's move in with your mom. So it's so funny that the idea that he gave me, I've now come to him like it's my idea. So I'm like, yeah. That's actually funny.
Look at this girl.
Literally, he's wrong with it. Are you okay? It wasn't on me that sent this to you how many months ago. So yeah, he was like, basically, as soon as I said, now it makes sense why we moved so quickly, because literally from that conversation that we had, within a month, we were back at his mum's house. Like literally, it happened so quick. Like it happened so quick. We went from living in our.
Because like you became closer as a family, innit? Especially with his mum, and I think that was so nice.
Was that?
So I said I think that was really nice. It was really like lovely, innit? That, you know, that you became close to his mum and like kind of like solidified your relationship with her as well. And because I think some people have like horror stories of living with their in-laws, isn't it?
Man, not me, man. Mine was amazing, definitely. Because we were supposed to move back for a year. That was our plan. Go there for a year, save our deposit, and then move out. And that year turned into 3 years very quickly. And Alpha was born, etc.
Okay, it's so cool though. I think that's so cool. So I made a mistake. Tony pointed it out, you guys. I told you she's not going to forgive me after this year. So I was like, the next question I've got was, what was your relationship with money like once you got married and started having children?
So we're middle of that. Yeah, I think I started it and I didn't finish that question. But let me try and move quickly because I'm just conscious of the time. But yeah, so
that's why I skipped a few questions. But okay, so I want to go. So what was your relationship like with money once you got married?
Yeah, so we've spoken about that a bit, about me being a big spender and him being a saver, us now moving back in with our in-laws to save money, and us saving a deposit to buy our first house. And that's what we did. So we saved up, we were able to buy the house after so we were able to secure the property after 2 years, and it took a further 1 year for us to actually get the keys to the house, because there was loads of drama with the people that were actually selling the house, and they just were on a madness. So it took ages to actually do the exchange and everything. So what was funny, or what was bad in hindsight, is that in the first 2 years of us saving the deposit for the house, like we saved aggressively, saved the deposit, saved the stamp duty, and we were like, yeah, we've done it, we've hit our goal, we've saved the amount we need. And then we had another year in which we could have saved so much more money before moving into the property. But because we thought at the end of that 2 years we were ready to move, and we were going to be moving within the next month or so, we took our eyes off the ball, I guess you can say, or dropped the ball. I think that's the saying. We dropped the ball, and then all of a sudden we just started spending money again, because now we've hit our savings goal. We were just enjoying our lives in it up until we did the exchange and we got the house. And then I think that's where things kind of went left, when we got the keys to the house. I don't know if that's the next question or if that's part of this question, but literally what happened is we got the deposit. I mean, we got the house, we got the keys. So we had the money to pay for the house, but what we didn't have is the money for the renovation for the house. And obviously in hindsight, we would have done things very differently to how we did do it, because what we ended up doing is taking out loans to refurbish the house. So we did a full refurb on the whole house, and then in addition to that, we even went on holidays during that year. Like we were just doing, doing the most. So we got the property, so now we're homeowners, we've got the house, we've got the keys, and now we've taken out loans to refurbish the house, and we took out a few loans to do all of that work. But what ended up happening is that we had a plan. That was it. So we had a master plan as to how we were going to pay off these loans. We were going to get lodgers to live with us, and then those lodgers would give us money to now pay for the pay the loan off, and then we'll just use that money to pay for the mortgage. It makes sense, innit? It actually sounds like a decent plan, right? But the only issue is that we didn't consider the fact that some people don't want to live with kids. In fact, nobody wanted to live with kids. So at the time, I had Alpha and was pregnant with my second son, Asha. So it's like nobody wanted. As soon as they heard that there was children in the house, nobody wanted to take up the room. So then now we're left with this mortgage to pay and all these loans Oh, and plus we had credit card debt. Like, I don't even know how the credit card ended up so high, but within a couple of years, we had maxed out the credit card too, and I was like 9K.
I think it's so easy though when you get your first home and you're excited, you want to fill up with furniture and stuff. It's so easy to get spending. Like, you know, it's exactly similar to something that happened to me as well when I got Mikey's first property, and like we wanted to do everything. You just want to do
everything straight away. Yeah. I nobody advised me otherwise, so I was like, you know what? Why not? Like, I've got like, and because like we had a plan in it, it was like, it's unfortunate that the plan fell through. But that's why I would say now that don't make plans for money before you receive it. If it's not your money and it's not in your hand, don't be making all these big plans for that money, because when it doesn't go according to your plan, you're just stuck.
So you and Isaac, you built up all this debt. He was a saver, so I can imagine throughout the whole process, he was probably like being like, Tolu, let's save. But you're like, no, I've got to get the floor done, I've got to get the kitchen done, I've got to get
my luxury carpet. Another one you put your feet into. Yeah,
I saw that carpet. That carpet is nice. But yeah, so you had all of those things. The house is looking amazing. So at what point did you guys like took a step back and said, look, we need to like make a proper plan here? We spent so much money. We're now mounted up a lot of debts. At what point did you feel like there's something better here for you guys?
Okay, for us, it got very peak. It got to the point where it's like we are like when I say we had debt, like it was a lot of debt that we were in, and we're like, okay, something needs to change, but we didn't know how to change that. I swear it was a godsend, because Isaac discovered Dave Ramsey and the whole Total Money Makeover, and he talks about these whole baby steps on how you can get out of debt, and you hear all these different stories of people that were in debt much higher than ours. Obviously ours at the time seemed like a lot, but then when you're hearing stories of people having double the amount of debt and paying it off, like, okay, if they can do it, then we can do it. So it was definitely a whole mindset change that we both had in that. It's like, no, we're not just going to keep trying to survive and manage this debt. We're going to do what we can, make these sacrifices, cut back, step back, in order to aggressively attack this debt and pay it off. And that's kind of what we did. It was like we made that joint decision, like, no, we can't stay here anymore. It's too much. It got to the point where we're not even able to keep up with the mortgage payments. It's like, hey, this house that we've spent how much, we sacrificed so much to get this house, to the point now we're going to lose this house because we've overspent and, you know, not been on top of our finances. So it's like, no, we can't afford for that to be the case. So it's like, now we need to actually change things. And that's when we started aggressively attacking the debt. And then around that time, we were actually due to mortgage the house. Like, so we've been in the house for like 2 years at this point when we was in all of that debt, and was like, okay. And our initial plan when we was doing the remortgage was that we was going to now pull out money from the house and buy a second property. We were going to buy a second property when we couldn't even afford the one that we had. Like, we were already struggling, but we wanted to now go and collect a second house on top of that, because we had all these plans. Like, yeah, don't worry, when we get that second, like, listen, we were just gassing ourselves up, like, just making all these crazy plans, and it was a madness when I look back on it. And I just thank God that we actually came across this whole Total Money Makeover when we did, because we would just, I don't even know where we'd be right now. Probably back at Mum's house again in the one bedroom with 3 kids. Like, literally, that's what would happen. So that's what happened.
So what was the turning point? Like, when did you say, okay, then it's like, so you obviously read the Dave Ramsey book. So is that at the point that you said, like, I'm going to start my financial freedom journey? And so what plan did you lay out ahead of you for the next 2 to 3 years or 4 years in order to change your position and get out of how much debt was it? Was it like
£36,000? £36,000. Yeah. So it was £36,000, so we aggressively paid off that debt within a couple of years. So within 2 years, we had paid off the debt. The remortgage helped, so we were able to use some of that money to pay off the debt. That and Isaac working overtime and us just really going crazy, like literally cutting out everything. We became like social recluses, did everything we could to pay off that debt. And it's like, okay, once we paid off the final bit with the remortgage, we're like, okay, now we can actually breathe, because now it's like the debt was gone. I can't explain the relief we felt when we paid that final credit card bill. It was like, thank God. Like, I remember, and the banks were funny, you know. So when we paid off that loan, they were like, oh, like, we can give you more money. No, I don't want more money. I want to give you back your money. You're coming to tell me that I should come and take more money. No, I don't want it. It's okay. That's literally what they tried to do, trying to get us to come back. I was like, no, I'm not playing with you people anymore. So yeah, we literally paid it all off. So that was like about 2 years ago now that we cleared off all the debt. And so in terms of my whole documenting and sharing this financial freedom journey, I guess this is the next chapter. So it's like, yeah, we're out of debt, but we're definitely not where to trap you again. Exactly, that's what they're trying to do, trap me again. yeah, so like I know the banks are crooks, definitely very, very evil people. But well, I guess they're not evil. I didn't. It's a business, isn't it? Business, they're there to make money, isn't it? So I didn't get money a customer, then that's what happens, isn't it? I just have to know what I've signed up for. But that aside, so yeah, literally 2 years into the whole debt-free journey. I mean, 2 years ago, sorry, we paid off all the debt and we were debt-free, and we're like, okay, now on to the next chapter. It's like, okay, we still want to pursue financial freedom and financial independence. So not only do we want to just clear our debts, which we've done, we actually want to be completely debt-free. So we want to pay off our house. So that's something that we're really, really adamant about. I know we've had different debates about this. Me and you have gone back and forth because we have opposing views in terms of paying off the mortgage versus buying more properties and stuff like that. But for me anyway, I just want to be completely debt-free. Like, we did a calculation and worked out, but like once we paid off our house, we could live for like the whole family could survive on 11k a year, £11,000 for the whole year for my family once I paid my mortgage. Like, yeah. So that's why we're just aggressively trying to pay off the mortgage and just be financially free, financially independent, and sorry. And the whole me starting this journey and sharing it with people on here is because I feel like money is something that we don't talk about enough. And I feel like if I'd had people in my life that I had these conversations about money when I was going through my whole financial journey, in terms of us buying a property and then taking out these loans and all the stuff that we did and the mistakes that we made along the way, I feel like if I'd had more conversations about money, or, you know, there was resources or somewhere to turn to, somebody told me, like, I wish somebody had told me these things back. Because it would have saved us a lot of heartache and saved us a lot of, do you know what I mean? All these mistakes that we made. So yeah, that's why I'm like, no, do you know what? As I'm on this journey, I'm out of debt, but I'm definitely, sorry, not at the destination I'm trying to get to. But while I'm going on this journey, why not share it with other people? Because it can help people, it can inspire people. Do you know what I mean? The conversations that I wish I had had, let me have it with people. The things that I'm learning along the way, let me share it with other people too. Like, I've read so many finance books, like the last couple of years, mate. I've just been absorbing it all, like learning. So I'm like, as I'm learning, let me be selfish, should it? Let me share it with other people too. Do you know what I mean? So that we can all learn and level up financially. We should all learn about
the channel is like the information you're giving out and the things that you're sharing is probably needed now more than ever, as I said at the beginning.
Do you know what I mean?
And I think a lot of people have to like review their finances, and I think, you know, in this day and age as well, as we get older and we get a bit wiser and like we have families and, you know, we look towards our children as inheriting what we're now, you know, going to be passing on to them. So, you know, for you it will be a property, a mortgage-free property, and all of those things makes us think about more about what money is and what money can do for us. And it just goes back to when we're talking, I think, when having immigrant parents and when they come in here, they're just really on trying to get that 9 to 5 and just trying to get to the next level. And they've created a space for us to now kind of breathe and be like, okay, then our parents have now kind of sorted themselves out and they don't have to be worried, because I think their focus was just like sending money back home. So now as like the first generation, our focus is now different, and we're able to learn these things. And I think maybe speaking to your mum, maybe at your age now, she probably didn't get to learn all what you are able to learn and share it and pass it on. So I think that, you know, having this channel and sharing it with it, even if you can't be able to talk to your own children, just tell them to look at your videos and they can watch all your videos and see like, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to take this, do it step by step. So moving back, obviously I want to keep to our schedule, because obviously we've got like about 10 minutes left.
So let's keep it moving.
So well, any day. I've done all your questions though, T.
Okay, so we're pretty much done.
we got time. Have
we got any questions? Has anyone actually submitted any questions? If we haven't, no.
Let me check. Well, you have to check. I can't check, darling.
Oh, in the question box, there's nothing there, I don't think. Not that I know how this thing works. Questions from your viewers will be shown here. Yeah, no, there's no questions, so that's fine. So you've asked all the questions on there?
Yeah, I've answered all the questions, love. Okay,
then that's good. That's good. Yay! So that means we've done well in terms of sticking to the topic. But I guess just to summarize, you can stick around for the summary, or we can.
Someone asked a question. What's your best money saving tip?
My best money saving tip. When you say, what do you mean? My best money saving tip? As in, like, save money on your shopping, or like, expanding on the question, because yeah, in terms of like saving money on shopping, like there's so much that can be said. Oh, okay, yeah, I can answer that one. Any tips on getting started clearing debt? I'd say putting all the debt in order from the smallest to the highest, and starting with the smallest one first, because I think that helps build momentum. Like when you start with the smallest amount, it's like you feel like a sense of achievement. It's like, oh yes, I've done this and I can keep going. But that's what we did when we was paying ours off. We literally started with the smallest debt, which was like 3K, and then just went from there and just kept on paying for the bigger and bigger ones. But yeah, that's the method.
And also, it does, you know, you shared on your videos as well that it does depend on the type of debt. So obviously the ones with the high interest and credit, so just pay the smallest amount. But obviously you want to start, even if your mortgage is smaller, it's got a lower interest and it's not as like bad as like a credit card, for example. So obviously you want to start with the bad.
Oh yeah, no, you wouldn't do a mortgage first. No, yeah.
Yeah, you want to do the credit. I'm just saying, even though you know there's different types of debts. So
there's different ways to do it.
The worst one there.
Definitely. Oh, in terms of shopping, money tips for shopping, I'd say I know this sounds very old school, but I think taking cash, that's the one thing that's helped me when I've gone shopping. Money saving tip is actually having a budget and sticking to it, because there's one thing saying that I'm only going to spend £60 or £100 on the shop, but when you get to the till and you've gone over, you're just going to swipe your card and pay it. Whereas if the money's finished, you have to just step away and start putting things back. Yes, it's embarrassing, but in that way you're always going to stick to your budget.
Are we assuming that when I say shopping, we're talking about food? Because, you know, I was just having a conversation with my cousin that I think food is my worst enemy when it comes to cash.
Oh,
I can tell you what, I would put that t-shirt down, but that food, I think food, especially when like black consumers, we love our food. We love
100%.
Food is very difficult.
No,
that eat out, the last night was last night. You know, eat out to help out.
Oh yeah, thank God that thing is over, mate. I fell through it big time last month. I'm so annoyed with myself, like literally. But I was doing so well on my grocery budget, but my takeout budget went out of the window completely. So annoying. Yeah, that was really annoying.
Any other questions? Wigs Inc. My daughter's paying herself first now because of your video. Well done.
Well done.
Any tips on getting started on clearing debt? You said that.
Wow, there's questions here, Christina, you know, sorry. What's the news?
What's the news? Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, that's coming, babe. I'm gonna answer that at the end. Oh, we could do it this way, innit? That's how you do it. Yeah, what's the news? So yeah, it's coming at the end. I'm gonna announce it in a second, actually. We've got a few minutes, so yeah, that's coming. Next question. How does one even start, Tolu? Yeah, it's a lot, but I think the main thing is acknowledging how much debt you have. Like if that's what you're talking about in terms of paying off debt, which I'm assuming you are, it's a case of identifying actually how much debt you actually have. Because when we did that task, mate, we were blown away. We didn't even realize how bad the debt was. So I think that one's very important, is to actually recognize and realize how much debt you have. And then, yeah, like I said, I think celebrating those small wins. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying about the whole interest thing, but I think just to give yourself that momentum, start with like the smaller one, so that you just kind of feel that sense of achievement and sense of accomplishment. So yeah, I definitely think that helps. No, it's been extended. Oh, forget it. I'm not involved. Should Eat Out to Help Out. It's been extended.
Yay!
Oh, this is a good one. Do you think it's worth saving and investing while clearing off debt, or just focus on clearing debt first? Yeah, you see, that one's a tricky one, because I feel like with paying off debt and saving and investing, it depends on how much you're getting on your investing, and then also with especially saving, I wouldn't even bother saving if you've got debt. Pay for debt, because that money you're getting in savings is peanuts compared to the interest that you're paying. I feel like the investing is a different thing altogether. I haven't even started my investing journey properly yet, but I know that there's a lot of money that I've been missing out on making because I haven't started investing sooner. So yeah, with the investing, I wouldn't be sure on that one, because it depends on, I guess, the return that you're going to get on your investing versus the paying off debt. But I feel like prioritize paying off debt is what I would do if I was in that position, because I think it's very important to pay off your debt. Oh my gosh, no more questions, guys. We're gonna have to maybe do another Q&A later, because there's quite a lot of questions to get through. Yes, I have student loan debt. I went to uni back when it was like £1,000 a year for your degree. And so, yeah, back then I took out that 1K loan. And no, it was like £1,000 a term or something like that. I had that plus maintenance. So I think my total student loans is like 12K. I haven't finished paying that off because that comes out like a tax. So I didn't prioritize doing that. I know in the US, their loans are a lot more expensive, which is why they prioritize paying them off, because they get charged mad interest, whereas ours is very different over here. So that's a whole nother conversation. But buying in the next 2 years, how much do you reckon we should have between us? Oh, yeah, so I could literally do a whole nother conversation about that as well. So in terms of buying a house, yeah, one piece of advice I'd give anyone or any couple buying a house, which is something that my husband and I were discussing the other day, is try and buy it on one salary, like rather than using your combined income. I know that's how the banks pitch it to you, and that's how you usually buy the house, but I feel like doing that is a risky strategy, because what happens when one of you stop working? So like for me, obviously when we got the mortgage, it was based on both of our income, but then I'm now on maternity leave, so now we have one income, so now a lot more of our money is now going towards mortgage payments every single month, because when they give us the loan, they give it based on 2 salaries as opposed to 1 salary. So I think if one person's income was the equivalent of 2 of our income combined, then it would make sense, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. But I think I'll leave.
Let's ask Samara's question. What do you think of the perspectives of living for today as tomorrow isn't promised versus saving and investing for the future?
Yes. So this is a quote that my husband always says, yeah, and obviously we're Christians, so that's our beliefs. Like, we believe obviously Jesus is going to come back one day, innit? So he always says it like you should live your life like Jesus is coming back today, but at the same time live it like he's never going to come back in your lifetime. So basically what he's saying there is like, yeah, he may not come back today, but he may come back today. But then equally, you can't not, you know what I mean, not live your life, because tomorrow is not promised. But then you could equally live a life of 70, 80 years. So if you want to live a life of suffering for 80 years, like, do you know what I mean? So plan for your future. Expect to live a long life, but then equally enjoy your life. So I'm not saying you should suffer. Do you know what I mean? Be eating Indomie and drinking water every single day for the rest of your life, because at the end of the day, like you said, you could die in a year's time or 2 years' time. And what have you done with those 2 years? You haven't enjoyed. But then equally, you don't want to overindulge because you're thinking, oh yeah, I might die tomorrow. What if you don't? Then what are you going to do? That debt is still waiting for you in a year's time, 2 years' time. For me, I don't want to work until I'm 67. I want to retire young. So in order to do that, I need to make certain plans and certain moves now to position myself for that to become my reality. So yeah, balance. Fire. I said all of that to say it's all about balance. But yeah, so that we've got a couple more questions. Let me see if I can quickly squeeze them in before my exciting announcement. What do you do if your partner isn't on board with clearing debt? I think lead by example is what I would say. So if your partner isn't on board, get a divorce. I'm joking. No, I don't advocate divorce, but I would say I take lead for example is what I would say. Like, you just start the journey, you start paying it off, and hopefully he will eventually come on board where he sees the results of what you're doing. And that's the advice I'd give there. When do you think people should start their pension? Pension, that's a very good one. I spoke about that in the video on my channel, 18 things I wish I knew about money when I was 18. I spoke about that in that video. And pension contribution is something I did not pay attention to when I was younger, and I wish I did, because I missed out on a lot of money. Because not only was I missing out on the money that my employer would have matched me, I was also missing out on the money that money makes, that whole compound thing that we were speaking about. I never knew about that. So yeah, pension definitely contribute. That was quick fire, boy, trying to get through all those questions before we run out.
Have you got any more? Have we got any more?
Have we got any more questions? No, but don't ask any more, because yeah, we're going to run out of time on this live, and I want to actually... Okay,
you got 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes.
Yes.
Shoot.
Okay. Oh, as in me summarising, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my God, there we go. What are your views on saving account for children? Very important. Definitely have savings accounts for your children. We save the child benefit at the minimum and try to obviously add more money as well to save for them and invest it for their future. But yeah, very important, I think.
The other thing as well is that children's accounts have higher interest, so take advantage of
it. Exactly. Very true. Very good.
All right, before it gets locked out.
In it. So thank you guys so much for joining this live. For those of you that stuck around to the end, I said that I was going to have some exciting news to share with you. One of the things that helped us a lot on our financial journey was budgeting, understanding where our money was going and what we were doing with it, making a plan for our money at the start of the month, so that at the end of the month we're not wondering where it went. So what I'm doing for all of you guys that are first to join my live is actually give you first dibs and first link to my free budgeting template. So I'm going to add the link here in the comment section, and then all you have to do, see if this thing works before it cuts out. Yeah, there you go. That's the link here to download my free budget template. So yeah, literally give me just sign up with your email address and download the free budgeting template, and that will help you. It helps us a lot in terms of budgeting and managing our money and just staying on top of our finances. But I guess in terms of a key takeaway, what I really wanted to do with episode 1 is talk about money, really open up those conversations around money, and just show that, yeah, yes, I've been in a lot of debt. Yes, we've got out of debt, and yet, yes, we're still on our journey. But I feel like as I'm going on this journey, bring you guys along with me, help you guys, and you guys can help me too. So every week I'm going to have a nice guest, a new guest that's going to share content with me, or share content with us all around money. So we're going to be talking all different subjects, money. The other announcement I had is my guest for next week is actually Selena Flavius from Black Girl Finance UK. So she's a financial coach and she knows so much about money. She's helped over 300 women on their financial journey. So yeah, I'm really excited about that conversation next week with Selena. So definitely join us next week.
Repost the link again when you save this live.
Okay, yeah, I'll post it in my description. What's that?
Well done.
Yeah, we've done it. We made it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you all for tuning in. Episode Money, Team Money Talks. See you again next week. Same time next week. Thank you for joining, guys. Love you all. Thank you. Yay. We did it. It hasn't cut me out yet. I think we've got a few more seconds.
But repost the link. Repost.
Yeah, I want to make sure I can download the live, because you know sometimes it just disappears apparently. So yeah.
Yeah. So
but yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Oh no, don't do that. Hold on. Thank you guys so much for joining. Oh, you guys are so cute. Thank you so much for all the support. I've actually screen recorded it so I can actually read back your comments after the live. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.